One of the oldest remaining religions in recorded history, Judaism is not only a religion, but also a race whose people have faced persecution throughout the world and throughout time. Most Jewish immigration into America was to escape that affliction and reoccurring oppression. However, anti-Semitism has been ever vigilant and even plays a role in how Jews are perceived by the majority and treated by the individual. In American politics, the Jewish platform has been one of securing and protecting civil liberties and demolishing anti-Semitism, and even to establish a Jewish national home in Palestine. Fueled by long-standing traditions that promote countenance, frugality, which is often given a negative connotation, and a disciplined work ethic stem from their beliefs in making the world we live in a better place in the eyes of Yahweh. A religion that claims historical continuity of over 3,000 years, Judaism is one of both tradition and adaptation. Understood as a monotheistic covenant between God and the people of Israel, it is also a relationship that is not restricted to a stringent structure, but is rather more personal.
Judaism says basically you have to be a good person. There are 7 basic Noahide laws: not to steal, not to kill, not to be immoral, to have a system of laws, not to mistreat animals, to believe in God. That's the basic idea of being a human being.
This standard of living is what has driven Jewish people throughout time. The Torah, the extensive literature of the Mishnah, and the Talmud, or the history of Judaism that has passed from generation to generation on, outline the laws and practices which provide a basis for the different types of Judaism: Orthodox, Contemporary, and Reformed.
Certainly, what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. That is the Torah. The rest is commentary. Now go and study. Talmud Shabbat 31a.
While the intentions are pure, one of the teachings of Abraham held by the Jews is that they are God's chosen people. This was often misconstrued as condescending and one of the contributing factors for anti-Semitism.
You did slay Christ. You did lift violent hands against the Master. You did spill his precious blood. This is why you have no chance for atonement, excuse, or defense. You Jews did crucify him, but after he died on the cross, he then destroyed your city. It was then that he dispersed your people. It was then that he scattered your nation over the face of the earth. In doing this, he teaches us that he is risen, alive, and in heaven. John Chrysostom.
Christianity, which was spreading rapidly throughout the world, held the idea that the Messiah had come. This core difference has coherently led to a rift between the two peoples, and is even a stem for Christian anti-Semitism. Persecution such as this led to both the willing and unwilling immigration of Jews from their homes. When discussing the exile of Jews, the Holocaust is an aspect that cannot be avoided. Humanity will forever bear the scar of Adolf Hitler's genocide. Motivations and politics aside, the result of Hitler's tyrannic ambush was the death of over 6 million Jewish people. And just like Moses' exodus from Egypt, in which his people wandered 40 years before reaching the Promised Land, Jews, after the horrors of World War II, were left with the dilemma of finding a new home. This has led to a global concern to establish a national home for the Jews, Israel. Jews who did survive the Holocaust were called displaced persons. These displaced persons faced long journeys to liberty.
The Jews suddenly faced themselves. They saw that they were different from all the other inmates of the camp. For them, things were not so simple. To go back to Poland, to Hungary, to streets empty of Jews, towns empty of Jews, a world without Jews. To wander in those lands, lonely, homeless, always the tragedy before one's eyes. And to meet again a Gentile neighbor who would open his eyes wide and smile, remarking with double meaning, "What, Yankel, you're still alive?" Meyer 11.
News of Jewish genocide reached the White House by 1942. but with anti-Semitism still holding power in office, it wouldn't be until January 22, 1944, that President Roosevelt took action with the establishment of the War Refugee Board. This granted immigration rights to 200,000 European Jews into America. It was surges like this that sparked Jewish motivation for a larger role in American politics. Israel was the national home for Jews, but for these displaced persons, America was now theirs. Jews gradually became more influential in national forums such as business, media, and politics. Capitalism, a system which at heart rewards those who put in the work, allowed for a good coexistence in terms of that idea. After the establishment of a Jewish prominence in American business, it wasn't long before they sought to have their voice heard in American politics. At the forefront of Jewish American politics is the Arab-Israeli conflict. A problem ignited with the birth of Israel and Palestine, the delicacy of that situation for America is what had led to the birth of Jewish-Israeli lobbyists in America today. Organizations such as AIPAC and Christians United for Israel are advocates for pro-Israel policies. The primary purposes of these lobbyists are to protect the Jewish Holy Land. And although it has received staunch criticism by many, America has been Israel's largest benefactor. In fact, the Obama administration continues to stress, our ironclad, and I mean ironclad, commitment to Israel has led to the closest military cooperation between the two countries in their history. How our foreign affairs and actions with Israel unfold will directly affect Judaism in America and how it evolves through time.